This is what I wore this month for October 2017. Yes, I'm filming a little bit different. My room over here is getting redone, so it's like really ugly in here. So this month, my period was pretty back to normal. I don't think in September I bled like hardly at all. It was very weird. I think it's the lightest period that I'd had in over 10 years. So I was back to normal this month. I actually got it enough early where I didn't have anything in my purse and had to use my emergency car bag, which was kind of exciting, I guess you could say. So I used my Eva cup and this pad from Strawberry Alarm Cloth while I was out, because I got it while I was out. And I had to have this because it has macarons on it. And now my daughter's gonna steal it because she didn't know this existed. So guess what? She's gonna have it now. I have already boiled and replaced my Eva cup back into my car, so I don't have it here to show you. I wore 2 other cups this month, and I wore this beauty. Okay, this has a learning curve to it. I tried it last month, and it was completely unsuccessful. I could not figure it out, but again, I wasn't bleeding much. And my cervix is decently low, and I have such a high flow for like a certain amount of hours that I just needed something else. So I bit the bullet, and even though I had to do a class for work and it was a 6-hour class, I said, well, let me try to get this in and see. Let me try it. You know, what's the worst that can happen, right? So I figured it out. Doing this little punch fold, but not too much, and sliding it in like that, and then pushing it open like that gives it a fantastic seal. I had 0 leaking with this, okay? 0. It was absolutely fantastic. I did not need my backup pads at all, even though of course I wore them because I was a little worried. It was fantastic. I changed it once in the middle. It was almost full. And I changed it, I think, once or twice during class. It takes a little bit longer for me to get it in and popped open than this, which I'm kind of used to now. But well worth it. I think I haven't tried it with CrossFit yet or any lifting, so that would be my next test. But so far, this is really good for the heavy day. Really, really good for the heavy day. Yeah, I'm way impressed. There was a point where I felt like it was on my cervix a little because my cervix comes like sideways into it. So I did have to like bear down and try to wiggle it down a little bit. And I could see, because I've heard some horror stories about this cup, when I went to retrieve it, I could tell it was kind of tipping a little bit. So that gives me slight concern, but at the same time, the seal was so great. I can't complain. This was a winner this month. But sometimes that was too much. That's a lot of cup. It's pretty firm and it's pretty large. So at the end of my period, I just used my Lena original, which I really love, and it's very easy to insert, be done with it. It pops open. I'm like used to this now, and this works really well. So I wore that more toward the ends, and I did use a sponge one day because I tend to like just do like a little spotting almost at the end of my period, and it's like, really, do I need a cup for this? It seems like a lot of work because I love my sponges. So I did use a sponge. And here are all the pads that I wore. I have them right here in no particular order. I wore this Moongazy cloth liner. It's like a knit top and corduroy backed, and I love this liner. Love it, love it, love it. I wore this red anchor cloth Sherpa. Yeah, this is a liner, and yeah, I love Sherpa. I can't resist Sherpa, and I can't resist Star Wars prints. It's really hard, and this is just delightful. And she changed the way she sews. This is a newer one. She has a tag now with a little anchor as opposed to the anchor stitching around on the bottom. I don't know if I wore one of the older ones this month. I don't think so. I also wore this one by Red Anchor Cloth. This is a front bleeder. This might be one of my favorite front bleeder styles, and of course I love the Sherpa because I do tend to be a gusher. So, and this is just like, look at the colors. It's perfect. And this is a moderate. I wore a couple from Little Bit of Heaven Sewing. This is a light, I believe, and it does have Wind Pro back, and actually this way, Star Trek. This one is also a Little Bit of Heaven Sewing. This is Big Bang Theory front pleater. Yeah, this is a moderate, and I think it's a knit top, Wind Pro backed. Yeah, love it. I'm completely drawing a blank of who I got this one from, the front pleater. I just, for some reason, cannot remember. It's a knit top, Wind Pro back. And I like this wide flare. I think it sits nice, but I think I might do some videos about the different shapes and why I like them. I wore this one, I believe, overnight. I think someone said this might be Between the Toes cloth, and it's Wind Pro back, and it has the exposed core, which I do kind of like, even though I'm a front bleeder. Like, when I'm sitting down, I like to have more pad, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. I wore this front bleeder style from Lovely Snippets. This is a OBV, I believe, topped and Wind Pro backed. This was my first time trying this out and this shape out, and I really did like it a lot. Guess I'm not too picky. It's beautiful, and I love the flamingos, and yeah, I had to have it. I got this one, knit top Wind Pro back from Fire Lily Design. This was my first time buying from this shop. This is a moderate. She has little tags that denote the absorbency. I guess the pink is the moderate. It's 10 inches, and it is a cotton woven, and then Wind Pro fleece. And this worked great, and I think, you know, it has Captain Jack Sparrow. Sorry. Kind of is what it is. I wore a couple of kitty cat cloths. This is a liner. I forget what she calls these ones. I think they're a front, obviously it's a front sort of liner with this OBV and the Wind Pro that she usually uses. And yeah, I have some things to say about this, but they're not for here. But I do like it, and it's really pretty. And I wore my typical overnight kitty heavy Wind Pro. Some sort of interesting fabric on the front. It does what it's supposed to do. I love it. I got it in D-Stash. I wore a couple of pad tie cloths. I wore this one. It's knit and Wind Pro, I think she uses, and I think it's a moderate. I'm pretty sure it's a moderate. This is one of the ones I wore to backup during my class for using the new cup, because it does have a little bit extra in the back. I don't like it when my pad goes so far back in my butt that everyone can see that I'm wearing this giant cloth pad, especially because I don't bleed there. So but I was like, ooh, if this really leaks, it's gonna be a problem, because, you know, I'm wearing pants, so I like to have a little extra in the back. I also wear this pad tie cloth with the uteruses. It's a PK, and I believe it's a Wind Pro. I can't remember if she uses Wind Pro, and I believe this is a heavy. Got that in D-Stash too, and I love it. I do not remember the maker of this battle axy sort of knit topped. I'm pretty sure that's Wind Pro on the back. I'm pretty sure it's a moderate, and I do kind of like this battle axe. It's the only one I have like that, but I kind of like it. I wore this PK topped Wind Pro backed super from Hoo Hoo Rags. I think it's the only one I have from her, and it has the blood cells on it. It's totally appropriate. I know you guys are probably getting tired of seeing the same pads over and over and over again, because I do kind of reach for the same pads frequently, especially for the overnight. I wore to Grayson Street Emporium. I wore this as a knit topped or whatever Power Shield I think she uses, and it's a light, and I think it's a 10 inch. And I wore a plush with this one. It's a heavy, I think it's a 12.5 inch, I want to say. Heavy plush style from Grayson Street Emporium. And I tried a new maker, Misty Cotton, mostly because of this print, which was a Star Wars baby print. And this is a 13-inch overnight heavy, I want to say. For overnight, it's fine for overnight. Again, I wouldn't wear it during the day. It's just too much pad for me. But it's great. She does use metal snaps, so do know that if you ever purchase from her. But for what I paid, I feel the quality was pretty decent. She had this Star Wars, and she also had a lot of tea prints, which is, again, another one of my things that I will buy is if it has a teapot or a teacup or something on it. So I used these two overnight. They did what they were supposed to do, and I was happy. And then I have a story. So when I first started with cloth pads, I think it was in March I started with cloth, I put in an order to Silly Panda company on Etsy from the UK, and I didn't realize she was pregnant and expecting a baby and having a baby. Anyway, she made her pads, she made it within the time frame that was specified, and then I kind of forgot about them. I only got them this past month, so I ordered them. So it took them like 5 or more months to actually arrive to me. Of course, since that time, I have kind of learned more about my flow and my daughter's flow and everyone, and so not a lot of these pads are actually right after all of this. But, you know, I will make do because, you know, it is what it is. But we'll see. I might have to learn how to destash at some point because, unfortunately, some of these are not right for me now at this point, but oh well. I did wear this one from her, which worked good as an overnight for me, so I will keep this one. And it has the pirates, and it's knit, and she uses a white, it's a moisture repellent fleece of some sort. And this is a heavy, and of course it works for night for me. This is fine for me, but, and it's about 10.5 inches. And I just love the print on this. But I do have several of them that are like, my daughter likes a bigger pad, a longer pad than what I ordered for her. Anyway, it's a long story, so I might have to figure out how to destash. It's kind of sad, but I do have a few things that probably should go at this point, so I might have to delve into that world. But anyway, that's what I wore this month. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 pads. Not too bad. And 3 cups. Anyway, I hope that y'all are doing well, and thank you, and welcome to everyone new, and I will talk to you again next month. Bye.